Hello everyone, my name is Elspeth, you're watching the Planeswalker Pantheon, and today we are going to be opening up a pre-release kit from the latest Magic the Gathering set, Innistrad Midnight Hunt. We're going to open this kit up, we are going to look what's inside of it, give you a rundown of what that is, and we're going to build a sealed deck as though we were at a pre-release. I know it's now release weekend, but this is as soon as I could get the video to do it. So anyways, let's get to it, shall we? We'll just cut into this. Innistrad Midnight Hunt. I've actually enjoyed this set so far the few times that I've played it, thanks to Arena and a quick little pre-release online. Alright, so we'll just pop all this open. Alright, so we got our beautiful little spin down die right there with the Innistrad Midnight Hunt logo there. We've got our packs. And we've got our promo, which is Haunted Ridge, which is one of the slow lands, and we've also got our little arena code, which we'll give out later on. And then we've got a little card divider and a little how to build pre-release kit. Anyways, let's get into our packs. We've seen our promo, there's nothing to read there, but we'll just crack into our packs and we'll see what we've got. I'll probably read I'll make a note of the uncommons and read out rares and mythics. But let's get to it, shall we? Alright, so we've got our commons right here. We've got a Shady Traveller. Okay, first uncommon is Turn the Earth. Second uncommon is a Dawnheart Mentor. Third uncommon is a Root Coil Creeper. Oh, we've got a rare in Graveyard Trespasser. So for 2 and a black, you get a creature, human, werewolf. It's a 3/3. It has Ward of Discard a card. Whenever Graveyard Trespasser enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to one target card from a graveyard. If a creature card was exiled this way, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, and it has Daybound. So it becomes day. If no spells are cast, it flips to the Graveyard Glutton, which is a werewolf, which is a 4/4 with the same ward cost. Whenever Graveyard Glutton enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. For each creature card exiled this way, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life, and it has Nightbound. Got our Swamp, our token, and a little Notifier. Next up. Okay, some commons. First uncommon is Blood Tithe Collector. Second uncommon is a Purifying Dragon. Oh, that one's actually flipped. Our third uncommon is an Outland Liberator / Frenzied Trapbreaker. And our rare is Vadric, Astral Archmage. So for 1 blue and a red, you get a legendary creature, human wizard. It's a 1/2. If it's neither day or night, it becomes day as Vadric enters the battlefield. Instant and sorcery cards you cast cost X less the cast, where X is Vadric's power. And when day becomes night, night becomes day, you put a +1/+1 counter on Vadric. So we've got a Plains, and a Decayed Zombie. I finally got one of these, because I haven't actually seen one before in all my kits that I've opened up so far, which is a total of 3. Alright, flick through some commons. Oh, we've got a Harvesttide Infiltrator in that cool alternate artwork. First uncommon is Dualcraft Trainer. Second uncommon is Infernal Grasp, some great removal. Third uncommon is a Flame Channeler, and our rare is Adeline Resplendent Cathar. So for 1 and 2 white, you get a legendary creature, human knight, a Starfall with Vigilance. When her power is equal to the number of creatures you control, whenever you attack it, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. Got a mountain and a wolf and a Notifier. Next up. Alright, we've got a Dawnheart Rejuvenator and a Tireless Hauler as our flip cards in that box. We've got a Cathar's Call as one of our uncommons. Join the Dance as our second uncommon. We've got a ambitious farmhand as our third uncommon, and our rare is a sludge monster. So for 3 and 2 blue, get a creature horror. It's a 5/5. When enters the battlefield or attacks, put a slime counter on up to one other target creature. Non-horror creatures with slime counters on them lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 2/2. We also have a swamp, a vampire, and another day-night checklist card. Alright, second half pack here. Alright, so we've got a Vivisection as our first uncommon, Brood Reaver as our second uncommon, third uncommon is a Mystic Skull, and our rare was actually an alternate art version of Jadar, Ghoulclaw of Nephalia. So for 1 to black, you get a legendary creature, human wizard. It's a 1/1. At the beginning of your end step, if you control no creatures with Decayed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. We also have a Plains, a nice little Welcome to Arena card that no one cares about, and a Day-Night Checklist card. Alright, this is our last pack here before we go off and build our deck. Alright, so... Alright, first uncommon is a Moonsilver Key. Second uncommon is Rite of Oblivion. Third uncommon, it's Delver of Secrets. And our rare is a Hallowed Respite. So for white and a blue, get a sorcery. Exile target non-legendary creature, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. If it entered under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Otherwise, tap it, and you can flash it back for 1 white and a blue. We have a forest, a zombie, and a checklist card. Alright, so what I am going to do is I'm going to take a quick break. I am going to build the deck, and we'll discuss what we've got right here. Alright, I'll see you later. Alright guys, and we're back, and this is the deck we've sort of come up with, so we'll just go through each converted mana cost and sort of talk about what we've got here. In our 1-drops, in our creatures, we have Lunarch Veteran, so a nice early drop. It's a 1/1, we can bring it back later for 2 mana. It gives us a little bit of life and stabilization pretty early on in the game. Secondly, we have Gavany Trapper, a way for us to push in early on and to tap down pesky creatures whenever we need to, if that needs be. And we do have a little bit of Coven synergies like sort of scattered about in this deck, so having a zero powered creature is always a good thing to have. In our 1-drops in our spells, we have a Crawl from the Cellar, which can help us get any of our creatures back. We do have a little bit of zombie doubling, but it's not a big thing in our deck. But just having a Zombify that we can flash back is always handy. We also have Inalive. This is one of the premium removal spells in black. It's not the premium removal spell, but it's definitely one that we'd like to have. We'll have some extra fodder around, so the sacrificing a creature is not an issue. And to exile a creature or planeswalker is pretty big, especially in this format where Disturb exists. Where Disturb exists, basically, so people can't get that second use out of their creatures. In our 2-drop slot, we have a Cathar Commando. Again, it's a 3/1 flash, it's perfectly fine. The fact that flash is there is great. The destroying target artifact or enchantment, it may or may not be relevant. I haven't seen a lot of artifacts that sort of are key, but you never know when that utility will come in handy, so I'd rather have this stapled onto a creature than stuck in my sideboard if need be. We've got Kettle Grove Witch, so this is one of the Coven pieces, which I really do like. Because we've got a 0, we've got a pretty easy way to actually build that Coven very, very quickly, and to give it flying, you know, makes it a pretty early evasive threat. Ambitious Farmhand, so again, it gives us a little bit of way to search up for another basic if we need another basic Plains, and the fact that we've got Coven, as I've covered here, and transforming into a 3/3 lifelinker is not the worst. But yeah, getting that second white is always a good thing. Vampire Interloper, nice little aggressive creature. We do have some upsides if we do manage to have our opponents lose life. And the fact that it's a 2/1 flyer, you know, is kind of important. Novice Occultist, it's probably not the best use in this deck. I'd rather be sacrificing it for value. Then again, I'm happy to do that with Inalive if we need to do it that early on in the game. Drawing a card, losing a life is not the worst. It's not the worst, never a bad thing. And of course we've got Jadar, Ghoul of Nephilia. This creature alone contributes to 2/3 of our coven if we have a 0, this, and the zombie that it poops out at the end of turn. So we can actually get that ambitious farmhand transformed actually a lot earlier than we think. In our 2-drops for spells, we have Olivia's Midnight Ambush, so great basic -2/-2 removal. If it's not, we can kill something a lot bigger if we need to do that. Because we're in black-white, we can actually play this Rite of Oblivion. So white and a black, as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice non-land permanent. So again, that Novice Occultist is perfectly fine. Exile target non-land permanent. As I said, with Eaten Alive, exile removals coming at a much more of a premium than in most other sets. And then we can always flash it back for 2 white and a black if we need to get it a second time around. Infernal Grasp, again, this is probably the premium removal spell at the uncommon stage. 1 and a black for an instant, destroy target creature. You lose 2 life. We don't really care about the 2 life because we're gaining a little bit of life with Lunarch Veteran early on. In our 3-drop spots with our creatures, we have a Celestia Sanctified. Now, I won't lie, this is kind of close to being cut, but when I found out there was better things to cut from this deck, I actually managed to keep this in. If it's down right, it becomes days that enters the battlefield. If it flips over, we can look at the top 2 cards of our library, put one of them into our graveyard, so it's a nice little bit of filtering there over the top of our library. Our second one is Adeline Resplendent Cathar, so X4 with Vigilance. Its power is equal to the number of creatures you control. When we attack, it creates a human tapped and attacking, so it actually contributes to its own power. With Jadar out as well, it'll give us a little bit of extra power. Hobbling Zombie, 2/2 with Death Touch. When it dies, it creates a 2/2 with Decay. Again, great fodder for some of our sacrifice outlets. Also, it's just 2 bodies and 1 creature is always nice. Arrogant Outlaw, I don't know necessarily how often we'd be triggering this, but I mean with Gavny Tapper and Vampire Interloper, we might be able to actually go a little bit wider and actually get the 2 life drain, and 2 life points is actually a significant swing. Shady Traveller, it's a 2/3 with Menace. Again, we can proc the Arrogant Outlaw with this, and it being a 4/4 with Menace is also nothing to sneeze at. 4/4 with Menace is a lot of power and toughness to get around. And of course we've got the Graveyard Trespasser. Again, exiling cards is important, especially in graveyards whenever we can, so like for Flashback and Disturb as well. It also is a nice way to pressure. And also because we retain that when it's a 4/4, along with the ward of having them discard cards, we hit actually 2 in this way, on the other side rather than 1. But hitting creatures in exile is always never a bad thing. Our only spell in our 3-drop slot is our Blood Pact, so target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. We need a little bit of extra draw in this. We do have the Novice Occultist, and we can recur things, say with Crawl from the creatures with Crawl from the Cellar, but just straight up card draw is never a bad thing. In addition to that, we can turn this on our opponents if we are feeling like we are getting close to the win. In our 4-drops, we've got a couple of creatures here. We have Clarion Cathars, so this helps out with our Coven a little bit later on in the game. It's a 3/3 that creates a 1/1, so we can turn on some of our small amounts of Coven if we need to, but otherwise we like to go wide. Dualcraft Trainer, 3/3 with First Strike, and it can give one of our creatures double strike if need to. I mean, imagine giving, say, Shady Traveller or Arrogant Trespasser, or heck, even Adeline double strike when we need to is never a bad thing as well. And the fact that this is a 3/3 First Strike, it actually defends pretty well on its own. And our last card on here, it is a Blood Tithe Collector. So for it's a 3/4 flyer, so it's a nice enough finisher. It's not the best finisher that we can run up with, but if we have had them lose life, we can have them discard a card that may or may not be relevant or come up, but you never know what could happen. Then, in addition to what you see here, we'll add 10 swamps and 7 plains, and that will be our deck. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, favourite, and subscribe. It lets people know that we exist. You can follow me on Twitter, links down below. You can also find us at the Planeswalker Pantheon on Facebook. Actually, before we go, we do have a little pre-release code to give away. I will show it on screen right now. So, Delta 537 Beta 2 Alpha 014 Alpha Alpha 84 443 Alpha Beta 03 Beta Delta 7 is the code right there, and I'll keep it on there for as long as I need to. Just make sure you can read it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.